The announcement didn't arrive with anticipation or ceremony. It struck without warning, and that was what made it so deeply unsettling. There was no preamble, no whispers of rumor, none of the usual build-up that circles major decisions in a franchise this established. One moment, the room buzzed with routine chatter. The next, a single sentence sucked the air out of the space. Those who were there later said the silence felt wrong, too sharp, too sudden. Diana Gabaldon's tone was calm, steady, almost gentle. Yet the impact of her words was anything but. Conversations died mid-thought, heads slowly turned toward one person, and every heartbeat seemed to hinge on how he would react. Sam Heughan didn't. He didn't blink, didn't question, didn't even shift in his seat. He sat motionless, hands interlocked, eyes fixed somewhere beyond the table as though trying to outrun the meaning that had just collided with him. A man praised for humor and unshakable composure looked frozen, and that stillness was louder than any outrage could have been. Everyone felt it. He'd weathered shocks before, last-minute rewrites, radical changes to arcs fans worshipped, twists producers swore would save the franchise. He had always handled chaos gracefully. But this was different. What made it worse was the tone, final. There was no "we're exploring options." No, this might evolve. The phrasing was neat, decisive, built like a conclusion, not a proposal. It sounded like a door slamming shut. One Sam didn't know was closing until it already had. Insiders later admitted the plan had been kept airtight. No leaks, no hints, not even a quiet warning whispered over coffee. It arrived fully loaded, leaving zero buffer for reaction or defense. And when shock leaves someone speechless, it's rarely just surprise, it's the moment you realize something you thought was solid has been shifting beneath you all along. As seconds dragged on, discomfort rippled around the room. A producer cleared their throat, uselessly. Someone reached for their phone, then abandoned the idea altogether. Hierarchies vanished. Every eye stayed locked on the one person not speaking, and the one person who urgently needed silence. A few attempted to smooth the moment over with clinical jargon, timing, audience response, narrative direction. Empty words, hollow comfort. Because the wound wasn't about story, it was about him. For over a decade, Sam Heughan hadn't just portrayed a character, he had lived inside him. He had partnered with the woman who created him. Their relationship was built on debate, trust, and shared transformation. But this declaration carried a different weight, a shift in power he had not seen coming. His shoulders squared, a tiny brace against an invisible blow. He inhaled as if buying seconds, not to speak, but to hold himself together. The room misread the quiet as acceptance. It wasn't. Those who truly know him later said silence was his shield, the only way to stay professional when emotion threatened to break through. If he objected, conflict would ignite. If he agreed, a chapter would die. Silence kept possibility alive. By the time the meeting dissolved, nothing had clarity, only consequence. People slipped out in uneasy clusters, careful not to name the thing they were now all afraid of. Sam lingered, offering a polite smile that fooled no one. That expression, strained and distant, would haunt witnesses for weeks. Whispers began within hours. Quiet calls, cancelled plans, PR strategies abruptly rewired. When the machine of Hollywood slows, something fundamental has shifted. The content of Diana's statement wasn't scandalous, no betrayal, no moral outrage. It was a creative decree that redirected the story's future with irreversible certainty. What stunned everyone was how brutally it severed paths Sam believed were still his to walk. To him, the hit was personal. Fans didn't separate actor from role anymore, and somewhere along the journey, neither had he. To be told the world he helped build was moving forward without him felt less like news and more like loss. In the days that followed, his demeanor changed. Humor trimmed away. Interviews tightened. Every word chosen like stepping stones across unstable ground. He wasn't furious, he was fortified. Meanwhile, Diana said nothing more. No softening, no public context. Her silence was intentional, a reminder that authorship still had a single ultimate owner. It echoed like a warning. Fans sensed the fracture before they ever knew details. Sam's warmth had cooled, something vital had shifted, and audiences always feel when a performer's heart is somewhere else. Behind closed doors, conversations grew philosophical. Who owns a story once millions have loved it? Who protects a character when creator and actor claim them equally? There were no answers, only stakes. Sam refused to address the announcement publicly. Not out of avoidance, out of strategy. Speaking would trap him on one side of a line he wasn't ready to draw. Silence preserved his choice. What unsettled people most was the weight of inevitability. No backtracking, no last-minute compromise. Everyone sensed a boundary had been crossed, though none could pinpoint when. Once change like this begins, it doesn't wait for permission. Weeks passed, and the question evolved. Not what did Diana declare, but what would Sam do now? Would he adapt quietly, the reliable soldier of the narrative? Or had this been the moment the line hardened beneath his feet? His silence suggested the decision was still being formed, and that uncertainty terrified everyone. Because when a man known for clarity chooses measured restraint instead, it means a reckoning has started. Whatever Diana said that day didn't just alter a fictional future. It forced Sam to confront his place in it. And sometimes the loudest fight is the one you refuse to voice.